TSA PreCheck, Clear, and Global Entry, which one actually makes your travel smoother?
And better yet, how do you get them without paying a dime?
Some cards will cover the fee, some won't, and if you have extra perks that most people miss.
We'll help you pick the right one so you spend less time in line and more time traveling.
Hey, I'm Chris. Welcome to the Upgraded Points Podcast.
And I'm Katie, and today we're talking about some unique ways that Chris and I have earned American Airlines miles, and then we're going to dive into TSA PreCheck versus Global Entry versus Clear. Before we get to that, wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast, we would love it if you gave us a thumbs up, left us some feedback, and if you have questions or comments for the show, you can reach us at podcast@upgradedpoints.com. So Chris, how have you earned some extra American Airlines miles in a unique way?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's
an unfortunate way.
Yeah, unfortunate way. If you remember last month, my family and I were flying back from Miami to Rio, and our flight was canceled. And American, they put us up in a hotel and gave us $12 in vouchers, and that was it. Well, I complained. I filled out a form online with American Airlines, and they finally got back to me with some compensation. So they sent us each 10,000 miles, and then an additional 10,000 miles for additional food costs. And they refunded $55 in lift charges, because the hotel shuttle was down when I was trying to get us to and from the airport. So in total, it was 50,000 American Airline miles and $55. So not bad. Yeah. I mean, I'm just comparing it to United last year when our flight was canceled. Even before we landed, we each had a voucher for $650 in our inbox.
That's better.
That's better.
It's a little better.
And I had to fight for this. My wife was on a different reservation, and they didn't want to give her the miles, but they gave me and my two kids the miles. It was just American. They're just not a good experience. It's just very rare anything positive happens with them. And to get compensation when they mess up, it was still a lot of work. But end of the day, a couple emails and I got 50,000 miles. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, they could have told you to go pound sand. So I guess, it's better than nothing. I mean, it's better if you don't have to do anything, but I'm glad you got a little bit of extra something there.
Well, how did you get your miles?
So I earned 20,000 American Airlines miles by opening a savings account. And I talked about this, I think it was on one of our very first shows. It was something I'd been thinking about. So I opened a City Miles Ahead savings account. I got an email offering bonus points for opening the savings account. And there is another savings account that you can earn American Airlines miles. I think it's Basque Savings or Basque Checking. I don't remember if it's checking or savings. That one does not earn interest. And when I did the math, it wasn't a good idea. But this savings account does still earn interest in addition to miles. So, okay, let me test it out. So there were three different tiers, and I think that the last two were just kind of absurd. So I earned 20,000 miles by depositing $10,000 into this savings account. You could also earn 40,000 miles by depositing 50,000, or for a $200,000 deposit, you would earn a whopping 50,000 miles.
I'd rather get delayed in Miami.
Yeah, it didn't seem like a great idea. But for a $10,000 deposit for 20,000 miles, it was super easy. I opened it in a couple minutes. I just moved money over from a checking account, and it took 5 minutes. You do have to keep that money there for 45 days. In practice, it took a few months to get my bonus miles. So it was beyond the 45 days. So if you do this, make sure you're not, really tight with that 45 days. You need to be able to leave the money there for a bit. It used to be interesting. Part of this whole deal is, as part of this savings account, that kind of triggered an extra 25% bonus earnings on your American Airlines card. So up to $50,000 a year. So essentially, if I used my American Airlines card and I earned 1,000 American Airlines miles, I would get bonus 250 miles. So that essentially turned that card into, instead of earning 1 point per dollar on just non-bonus stuff, it was 1.25. And at the time I did this, I thought that was kind of interesting because I'm a little short on loyalty points this year. So I've been using my American Airlines card for that non-bonus spend. But now that American is a city transfer partner, that extra 25% is not interesting anymore because I can earn 2 points per dollar on
Right.
city cards. Now, you
Yeah.
don't earn loyalty points, but 2 miles per dollar is a lot better than
Yeah.
1.25. So originally I was thinking I was going to keep this open sort of long term just to earn those extra 25%, but I don't think I'm going to because you do not earn the loyalty points on that. The 25% is just miles.
Mm-hmm.
But, so it was an easy way to earn a slow but easy way to earn 20,000 American Airlines miles. Um, so if you see that in your city account or if you get an email with that, it does work. So give it a try. I mean, I wouldn't suggest $200,000 for 50,000 miles, but move 10
Yeah.
grand over for some miles.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So was happy to report back on that. And I'm going to close that account pretty soon. So that I have
Sure,
my
they love
miles.
that.
Yeah, really. Well, I had Citi not added them as a transfer partner, I was going to keep it open, but
Well, it's their
it's
own
like,
fault.
yeah, maybe they'll increase and make it a little sweeter of a deal, but I digress. Okay, let's jump into our main topic today because it's a topic that we hear about a lot. A lot of confusion is out there, and we want to clear everything up and make it super simple for everyone. So, Chris, why don't you get us started?
Yeah, so there are so many ways to skip the airport security lines that nowadays there's TSA PreCheck, Clear, Global Entry, but which one is best for you and how can you get it for free? And that's what we're going to tackle right now. I'm going to start with TSA PreCheck. Now, TSA PreCheck costs $78 and it's good for 5 years. And this is where you can get expedited airport security. So you see those long lines. There's often a TSA PreCheck line next to it. This is when you can leave your laptop in your bag, jackets and shoes stay on, although everyone can leave the shoes on now. Kids 12 and under can go through with their parent. Kids 13 and over need their own membership or need to be traveling on the same reservation as a parent. And it has to be clear that it says pre-check on their boarding pass as well. So that is the most basic option of the three. Katie, why don't you tell us a little bit more about global entry?
Yeah, so often confused with TSA PreCheck, global entry is the expedited customs and immigration process when you are coming back to the US after an international trip. And this membership is also good for 5 years. It costs $120, so it's a little more expensive, but you do get TSA PreCheck with global entry. So if you travel internationally, even just like one time a year, global entry is probably worth it. Now, kids, regardless of age, need their own global entry membership. You have a 6-week-old baby, that baby needs a global entry membership. So keep that in mind. And the other caveat with the global entry, it can be a little bit harder to get that in person interview. Because for both TSA PreCheck and global entry, you have to apply and then go through an interview process. No, it's a pretty simple process. They ask you a couple questions, it's done. But in my experience, depending on where you live, it can be harder to find a global entry place where you can do an interview. So, for example, when I applied, and I live in Columbus, Ohio, when I applied, I don't know, 8, 9 years ago for global entry for the first time, I had to drive up to like a place outside of Cleveland, and it was 2 hours away. Um, when my husband renewed and I got global entry for my daughter, there was a place about an hour away. Um, if you live at a big airport, you might be able to just go to the airport for your interview. Or if you are flying into a large airport, a lot of airports now have an interview upon arrival process. So you can, if you've already submitted your application and been conditionally approved, you can do the final interview process as you're coming in from a trip. I would definitely recommend doing that only if you have a long layover or if that's your final stop. So just keep that in mind. It's still 100% worth it in my opinion. So don't let that in-person interview intimidate you at all.
Yeah. That's that interview upon arrival. That's what me and my
Mhm.
family, we've all done that. I think my original one was I did in New York on a long layover, but all the other ones, both kids and my wife have done it landing either in Miami or New York, wherever we're connecting through, and it's been Very easy process. And like you said, if you're already conditionally approved, they're just making sure that everything is, lining up there. So those two we covered: pre-check and global entry. Pre-check is for leaving, going into airport security, and global entry is coming back. There's also clear, and that's a little bit confusing because clear is kind of like pre-check, but just like fancier and more expensive. It allows you to cut to the front of the security line, including in front of pre-check. So if you've ever been anywhere with a long pre-check line in Orlando, for example, you can go into the clear line and skip that, which is nice. And another nice thing is that kids under 18 are free. They don't need their own membership if they just go with the parent. That's really nice. Now, this is the program that uses biometrics, so you don't need to show your ID to the agent, which should expedite things a little bit faster. Some people may not like that. Some people don't care, but you should be aware of it. But it's not as widely available as TSA PreCheck. But I have it. I got it as a credit from one of my credit cards, got it for free from one of my credit cards. I like it, especially when I'm flying through Orlando where it's just chaotic.
Yeah, and Clear can be used without TSA PreCheck too. So you do not have to have TSA PreCheck to use Clear. I mean, it makes more sense, but if you don't have PreCheck, you can still get Clear, and then you just move to the head of the regular security line. You still then have to take off your light jacket, take your laptop out, but it does save some time. And what I've found with Clear is they have it at my airport in Columbus, which just seems just wildly ridiculous to me because there's never a security line for PreCheck. So like in that instance, it rarely makes sense. But when it saves you time, like at an airport like Orlando, it saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
Often it's just kind of a nice to have, but
Mhm.
it can be really valuable.
Yeah.
So like I said, Clear can work with or without TSA PreCheck. So how do all three of these, global entry, TSA PreCheck, and Clear, work together? A lot of times people say, which one is the best? Well, they're all a little different and they can work together. So the best combo, in my opinion, is global entry plus Clear. And that is for anyone who travels internationally. You're going to get TSA PreCheck with global entry. So then you will have all three programs and you will get through security as fast as humanly possible. You can get credits for global entry and Clear, both of those, through the Amex Platinum card and the Amex Business Platinum card. There are plenty of cards that also have the global entry TSA PreCheck credit, but the Amex Platinum and the Amex Business Platinum are the ones that have both of those credits. So if that's a combination that sounds interesting to you, take a peek at those Amex Platinum cards because that will really save you a lot of money. Like I said, Clear is a nice to have. I personally would not pay full price for it. If you live at one of those busy airports, if you're at a hub where the TSA PreCheck line is always really long, it might make sense to pay for it. We're going to show you in a little bit some ways to get Clear and PreCheck and global entry for a discount or for free. But it's one of those things I wouldn't pay for it, but I get it free through my credit card, and it is really nice to have sometimes because it can really save some time, and it just makes the whole process so much smoother, which makes your whole travel day
Yeah.
just a happier day.
Exactly.
'Cause
No one likes getting stuck at security when you could be
No.
in the lounge.
No, I know. Exactly. So let's take a quick break, and then we are going to come back and talk about how you can get all three of these programs for free or as close to free as possible. Welcome back. Let's talk about how to get global entry, Clear, and TSA PreCheck for free with the right credit card. Chris, what are our options?
All right. So we have a lot of options actually. And this may be surprising to some, but there are some of our favorite cards that have annual fees less than $100 come with TSA PreCheck and global entry. So just think about that. The global entry costs $120. Get that every 5 years. You get a nice card with a $95 annual fee, and it pays for itself with one application. So the first one is the Capital One Venture Rewards card. Great card. We love that card. And it comes with TSA PreCheck and global entry. As a reminder, if you apply for TSA PreCheck, you'll get that credit and that'll be done. If you apply for global entry, you'll get the credit and it'll be done. But the global entry also comes with TSA PreCheck. So if you're in doubt, maybe you want both, just do the global entry because that's going to be where you're going to get the most bang for your buck.
100%.
Now, the next card on the list is the IHG Premier card. This is a card that I have in my wallet. It's a great card if you have IHG stays coming up and like that fourth night free. Comes with the global entry credit for $95. That is a slam dunk. Very similar to the United Explorer card. Same thing. Outsized value if you can use all these credits. Now, there are some premium cards in our wallets that also come with these credits. So if you have multiple cards like Katie and I do, this is great because then you can be getting these credits for you and your family. And some of our favorites like the Amex Platinum, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, the Capital One Venture X, and the City Strata Elite, these all come with global entry and PreCheck. So if you have them, use them. Make sure you get those credits so you can make the most of your annual fee. And if you're not going to use them, at least make sure your family members get to use them. And then finally, cards that come with Clear. This is a shorter list, but these are some of our favorites, including the Amex Platinum and the Business Platinum, the Hilton Aspire card, and the Amex Green card. So that one is, Katie, can you refresh my memory on this one with the green card?
Yeah, the green card is a really interesting option if you want Clear. It comes with the Clear credit, which is, what was it? 209? No. Yeah, 209 a year. It's always changing, so I can never remember exactly what it is. But the Amex Green card only costs $150 a year. And on top of that, that earns 3 points per dollar on all travel expenses. So if you're looking for something to replace the spend that you used to put on the Sapphire Reserve, the Amex Green card could be a really interesting, kind of under the radar option that I'm going to start to look at because it's a sneaky one with that Clear credit for less than the cost. It's cheaper to apply for the card for a year than it is to pay for Clear. So definitely keep that one in mind. There are some ways that you can save money on these programs. Maybe you don't have one of the cards that we just talked about. So there are some other ways that you can save on these programs. First off, there is actually a limited time promo right now through October 31st where you can save $15 off of TSA PreCheck if you're applying for more than one person at the same time. So if you're a couple and the two of you are applying at the same time, you would save $15 off of that second person. And if you are, a family with two kids maybe, and the two adults are applying, each of the kids would get the $15 off. So you can use that multiple times, which is pretty nice. So that was for TSA PreCheck. For Clear, if you have any United credit card, you'll get a $40 discount automatically on Clear. And that's a really nice one. I noticed, the United Explorer card that Chris mentioned comes with TSA PreCheck or a global entry credit. And it would come with a $40 discount on Clear. So if you're not into the Amex Platinum, a super high-end card, that United Explorer could be a really nice one to get all three of these programs at a deeply, deeply discounted price. Also, United status members get a discount on Clear. So if you're just part of the United Mileage Plus program, you get a $10 discount. Better than nothing. If you have silver, gold, or platinum status, you get a $40 discount. If you have Premier 1K, which is that top published tier, you get an $80 discount. And then if you have United Global Services, you can get Clear for free. Same thing with Delta. If you are a Delta member, you can get a $10 discount automatically. Silver, gold, platinum Delta members get a $40 discount. And then Delta Diamond members are eligible to get Clear for free. So keep that in mind. When you are looking at these three programs, you might have a credit card in your wallet, or you might have a membership in a mileage program that will get you a discount, or maybe all three for free.
Nice. Very nice. And for those who are new to this game, signing up for a Delta or United account is free. So if you are considering getting Clear, just sign up for Delta and a SkyMiles account and you'll get $10 off. So it's a pretty good deal.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's jump into the final segment, Katie. I have a question for you.
Okay, let's go.
With all of these credits, we just covered TSA PreCheck and global entry, but things like Fine Hotels and Resorts and Uber credits, all of these cards have so many credits. How do you keep track of them?
So historically, I have kept a spreadsheet. I have always loved a good spreadsheet. And from day one in this hobby, I started a spreadsheet with all of my cards. and all of the credits and everything like that. As I've gone on in years and this hobby has changed and credit cards are all now full of coupons and credits and things that are monthly and quarterly and yearly, it's gotten a little overwhelming even for someone like me who lives, eats, and breathes this stuff every single day.
Hmm.
And so I've started using an app called Card Pointers. We mentioned it on a previous episode. And this is a tool that will help you keep track of your credit cards and things like, have you used your TSA PreCheck credit yet? Have you used your monthly Uber Cash from Amex? Have you used your Fine Hotels and Resorts credit? So it's a really cool app. You can kind of tell it what credit cards that you have. You don't have to input your credit card information or link to a bank account, and it can kind of help keep track of all of that, as well as some other cool features like being able to automatically add Amex offers and Chase offers to your card. We currently do have a 30% discount for any fan of Upgraded Points, whether you're listening to this or watching this or reading about this episode on the website. We will drop the link in the show notes, and you can save 30% on an annual or a lifetime subscription. And the annual subscription does come with a 7-day free trial, so you can test it out, see what you think before having to actually spend any money. So that is what I'm using today.
That is a great tool. I've been using it for a while now as well, and so I can vouch for it for our listeners. And before we sign off, I just want to remind everyone to enter our Magic in the Air Walt Disney World Vacation giveaway. You could win a trip for 4 to the most magical place on Earth. It is free and easy to enter on upgradedpoints.com.
And you will want to have TSA PreCheck and clear to get through the Orlando airport.
Yes.
So this was a
will.
good episode for you if you are entering our contest, and you should. Well, I think that's going to do it for us this week. If you have any questions or comments for us, you can reach us at podcast@upgradedpoints.com. And if you are watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Or if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, we'd love it if you give us a thumbs up or left us a comment. We really appreciate it. And we will see you next week.